The following production is brought to you by the Talkin' Buds Leaf Show.
Here we go. Talkin' Buds Leaf Show, Four Nations Face-Off, post-game edition, and still the number one hockey nation on the planet, Team Canada. Ryan, this is one of the latest episodes we've ever done, but I couldn't be more awake and more wired. That was literally one of the best hockey games I have ever watched in my life. 3 and change periods of just back and forth, evenly matched opponents. Unbelievable. Capped off with the golden goal, passing of the torch. Connor McDavid roofs it on Connor Hellebuck, and Team Canada wins the Four Nation face-off. Holy shit.
How you feeling, Robbie?
Good, buddy. Good. I'm feeling really good.
How you feeling after that one?
Was that not one of the best hockey games you've ever watched in your life? Like, that was incredible.
It was something. It was really something. And I'm going to be honest with you, I did not think they were going to win that game. I don't know. I just had a feeling that I just couldn't see what was going to happen for them to take away and win that game. And it turns out all he had to do was put old Mitch Marner up on the first line and create a little bit of magic. And here we go.
We're gonna talk about Mitch, and we're gonna talk about Austin, because this is the Talkin' Buds Leaf Show. But just overall, man, I thought McDavid was okay in this game, and then he steps up and scores the big goal in OT. Just the symbolism of this is a passing of the torch. This is Connor McDavid's era now. Just like Sid scored the golden goal in 2010 in Vancouver.
Look at you just buying right into the media hype.
I bought it, dude.
You're getting ahead of the narrative before you turn on every single Canadian broadcast tomorrow.
I absolutely am, man. Listen, and can I be honest? Even if they'd lost this game, I still would be on here in like a pretty good mood, just because I thought that was fantastic hockey. Like that
was a way better. Yeah, they played a lot better in this game than they did the first time. I thought they learned their lesson. I thought it was back and forth. Both teams had their runs of momentum, and yeah, it was just how do you leave the best player in the world all by himself in front of the net, and that's what happened.
Two extremely evenly matched teams.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Extremely evenly matched teams. And, you know, I've got it here on my iPad beside me as we're recording this, and they're showing Jordan Binnington highlights. You got to take your hat off to Jordan Binnington, man. Listen, he was sus at certain points in this tournament, and a lot of people were not happy with the decision to leave him in there. Oh, there's sad Brady Tkachuk. God, it's so that's a glorious sight.
Yeah.
A lot of people questioned the decision to leave him in there, and they kept saying over and over, he can win. Doug Armstrong was on overdrive yesterday and was just reiterating, this guy can win a big game when the game is on the line. I believe in Jordan Binnington. You talk about his success in that building, and he was spectacular, specifically in overtime.
Yeah, I think it was. I'm happy he's able to kind of shove it up the ass of every single Canadian fan or media outlet that doubted him, because it was doubt till the very end. It was doubt till the very end, and even now, I guarantee you, talking about next year, there will still be people looking to replace him in that net, because that's just the way it is. And if you really look at the tournament, I only really thought he let in 2 bad goals, one in the first game and then the Gensel one in the second game. Other than that, like I said, against Finland, those goals, like those were good goals. He played really well. He stopped Matthews like 4 times in overtime. He made a couple big saves. And everything that they said that they were going to get out of him, they got out of him.
A couple other things from this game. As I said earlier, this is the Talkin' Buds Leaf Show. Mitch Marner was spectacular in this game. Mitch Marner was one of Team Canada's best players, so much so that he got elevated back up to McDavid's line. I thought he made a ton of great plays with the puck. I thought he was great in his own end. I thought he was setting guys. He set both goals. He set up Sam Bennett, then he set up Connor McDavid. You got to take your hat off to the guy. I mean, the number one criticism of him as a hockey player is when you're in the big game, where is he? And he was the best of the best was out there on the ice today, and he was one of the best players on the ice.
Yeah, I thought he just made a lot of great decisions with the puck at the right time, made quick decisions, didn't really try to make any pretty plays, just always made the right play when it was there, and he's just so good at finding guys. So eventually his skill is going to come through. But I mean, I mean, if I had to look on the more pessimistic side, this wasn't exactly, even though it's the best players in the world playing each other, there wasn't exactly a lot of physicality going on near the end of that game, which kind of makes it a little bit different than the playoffs. But I mean, we always doubt his ability to show up in a big game because he usually doesn't do it. And tonight I thought he was great from the drop of the puck. There's all credit goes to him.
Nathan MacKinnon gets the first Canada goal. I thought MacKinnon started the game like a house on fire, and then he kind of cooled off as it went on. Who else stood out to you from Team Canada?
I thought all the lines kind of contributed. I thought Sam Bennett had a really good game. I thought McDavid couldn't really get it going. I agree with you. McKinnon was kind of hot to start. I think Cale Makar is just absolutely out of this world, man. This guy is so fucking good. It is insane how good at hockey this guy is. I thought he was their best player all night. I thought he was incredible. He made so many good plays. Honestly, I can't really think of a guy that really sticks out right in front of me because I go down the roster. It's not like someone was like popping. I just thought they did a way better job of creating turnovers in the neutral zone, and that's something they just did not do in the first game. The U.S. is going to apply that pressure and apply that forecheck, and it was just up to them to find another thing that they could implement in their system to kind of counteract that, and I thought they did that tonight by just turning the puck over, and I thought all around it was a good effort from everyone. Not one guy really stood out to me. I thought everybody kind of contributed in their own way.
You and I talked a lot in the last week about the Tampa duo of Cirelli and Hagel, and I think Hagel won everybody over by fighting Tkachuk on Saturday night. But I thought Anthony Cirelli was also fantastic.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone had a bad game tonight. I really don't.
No. That's what I mean when I say like I almost don't know how to properly articulate how I'm feeling right now because, like I said, that was just an absolutely fantastic hockey game from start to finish. How I'm supposed to go back and watch David Kampf play in Chicago against the Blackhawks on Sunday night, I don't know how you can ask me to do that after watching this for the last week. But, and listen, man, take your hat off to Team USA. Like, they came to play. You texted me during the game like that. Jake Gensel, the most dangerous player on the ice.
This guy's a machine out there. I mean, it's amazing what one goal can do. I'm starting to think 2025 is my year because there's so many narratives that can just follow through the result of just a one goal hockey game. Just think about the narrative. If Austin Matthews found a way to score that goal, or anybody in the U.S. finds a way to score that goal, Canada played just as well as they would have done if they won the game. But the narrative would have been out of control. Binnington, this. I was texting you, being like, maybe the whole cup experience approach wasn't the best. They should focus more on speed, and all that gets silenced by the U.S. allowing the best player in the world to be wide open in the slot. And now all we have to do is kind of tinker this, maybe tinker that going into next year. We're feeling good about it. So it's amazing what can happen with one goal and just change the whole narrative.
Oh, listen, I don't want to lose sight of that. Everything's positive. So we're not going to spend any time talking about, we've got tons of time throughout the offseason and into next year about what tweaks we think they should make to the roster, but there definitely should be tweaks, especially one of the things that people talked about a lot this week that I think we didn't talk about as much, that it's a great point, is this tournament was played under NHL rules. Next year at the Olympics, that's international hockey rules. You will not be allowed to drop the gloves at the Olympics. You will get thrown out of Italy if you drop the gloves in the Olympics. If you lay a hard hit on someone, you're getting 5 in a game. So I think there definitely needs to be, like, I was actually thinking about that watching this game and watching Brady Tkachuk finish every single check. And I'm like, he might be a guy that struggles a bit in international rules because his game is so physical and you really have to be careful with that. But anyways, man, like you're right. We're all on cloud 9 right now and everyone is so happy.
Dude, the narrative, if they lost this game tonight. I mean, I said 2025 is my year because the Kansas City Chiefs lost the Super Bowl, and the narrative, if they won that game, I would have boycotted sports media for at least a month. Like, it would have been the worst thing of all time. The second worst thing that could have happened this year is them losing this game tonight and hearing about the summit and hearing about the goaltending and what they need to do. They need to take a whole new approach. I'm just happy they were able to get it done. And if you think about the US team too, there's two things I know. Number one, their captain is allergic to making a big play in a big game and winning a big game. Number two, their goaltender, even though he is also the best goaltender in the world, is also allergic to winning a big game. So
can't win the big one.
They also have guys on that side as well.
Matthews had a couple of assists, and I thought he had some good chances. Like, I don't think he played bad in this game at all, but I get what you're saying. It's like there's the mojo around Austin Matthews in these big games is not great.
You know what killed me is just like his face after the OT goal when they just panned to him on the camera. And it's like,
how many times?
Seen that about 8 times.
Yeah. How many times? How many times has he sat there with that exact face in that building? That's the 4th time in his career that he's been in TD Garden.
Yeah, you're right. TD Garden. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
That's the 4th time in his career that he's been in TD Garden losing in a 7. This was basically a game 7, losing in an elimination winner take all game, looking like completely just devastated. This NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going. But that just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out and games left for you to get in the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL.
It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice.
All year, I've been kind of poo-pooing the idea of this tournament. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I thought it was kind of made up. And it's been one of the greatest things that's happened to the sport in a long time.
Right.
Like you check the U.S. media.
This tournament fucking rocked. It
was awesome. Yeah.
Was fucking awesome. A philosophy that you and I have on this podcast is when we criticize something, we will happily come on here later and eat a big bowl of crow. And no one shits on the National Hockey League more than I do. No one talks about what a terrible product the National Hockey League is at times more than I do. This was a walk-off. This was a down 3-0, bottom of the 9th, walk-off grand slam for the National Hockey League. Like, you're absolutely right. The crossover with you. Skip Bayless is tweeting about hockey tonight, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's done to the U.S. Like, all those accounts you follow on Instagram and just how people have been talking about it. To me, that's like a mission accomplished in itself. And it's almost too too bad that the Americans didn't win tonight for that reason, to get people more excited and more amped up for the Olympics. But I mean, I don't really care. I'm happy Canada won. But yeah, it's been a fucking home run. There's no two ways about it. It's been a great tournament. And you made an interesting point there too that I never really thought of, is next year is going to be under international rules. But maybe this tournament had like a fresh spice to it because it was kind of an NHL style, because the fights happened, because of the hard forechecking and the hard play. Like that's kind of an underrated aspect of this tournament. Like we've never really seen these guys be this physical internationally. It's right. It was a breath of fresh air.
Dude, the truth of the matter, this is the truth. And I know there's people out there that don't like it, but this is the truth. This tournament got the attention of the U.S. sports media, not because Team USA is a good hockey team, because there were 3 fights in 9 seconds against Canada on Saturday night. That is what... If you watched any of the U.S. coverage, First Take, Pat McAfee, whatever they had going on Fox Sports, all
I don't
of
even
it
know
was,
what they got going
how
on
many
there
tilts? Are there going to be any tilts? Like, how many tilts are we thinking? Like, Biz on First Take, all they're talking about is scraps. Like, they don't, like, that's it. That is what captivated American sports media, was that. And it's because this was played under NHL rules. Like that won't, like, when you think about Sochi and just how like business like that was, and that style of hockey, nobody was even body checking in those games. Right. And this was like, these guys are trying to kill each other. The fact that these guys, take your hat off to every single player that just played in this hockey game. The fact that Connor McDavid now has to get on a plane and go play at 1:00 on Saturday for the Edmonton Oilers is fucking insane.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, dude, I literally checked the Leaf schedule. Like, they play Saturday. Oh my God.
They play Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. They play 3. Ryan, the Leafs play 3 games in 4 nights in 3 different buildings.
That is nuts, man.
That is, I know.
And hats off to the players too, because they made this. Like, this tournament would be nothing without how much they actually gave a shit about it. And it gives you some hope that these sort of like what we thought fabricated tournaments can actually, if they could start a mini like tradition here, because it's clear that this generation is totally bought in on playing in a tournament like this. You know what I liked about this tournament too, and I could be totally wrong here, but this is just my own personal opinion. Even though it's in the middle of the season, it's kind of a pain in the ass, and it's stupid how the Leafs have to go play 3 and 4. I liked how it was in the middle of the season. Remember the World Cup of Hockey was like before the season, and it's just like, it just had that exhibition feel to it, and guys aren't like into it. Like, I thought it was the same timing as the Olympics kind of. I thought that also kind of like added another edge to it.
Guys are in mid-season shape.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, you know, ahead of the tournament, they announced that they're going to be doing, like, every 2 years, there's going to be international hockey. There's going to be Olympics, and then they're going back to a World Cup of hockey, because obviously they want to include, they want it to be a more than a 4-team tournament. And I think hopefully at some point, if the whole political aspect gets sorted out, the Russians can rejoin and be part of this, because that's what this 4 nations was missing, was Russia. But I think tonight, and Saturday and tonight was chapter 1 of a Canada-US international rivalry that is going to span the careers of McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews. Like, they're going to be playing each other every 2 years, and they're going to make up for the 9 or 8 or whatever it's been since we last saw international hockey. I think this is just we're just getting started with Canada, USA, and international hockey play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if Canada lost this tournament, I'm already looking towards, I know we just bigged up the NHL rules, but I'm looking to next year, because winning that gold medal means a lot. But it's the same on the other side. It's like, now the US can kind of reset, look at what they need to do. And if they end up winning the big dance next year, then, you know, it's their turn to have bragging rights. So it's a good win for now, but you're only a year away from trying to be on top of the hockey universe again.
Another thing too about the timing of this tournament and having it being in February, dude, this is the dog days of the NHL season. This is when it's really a grind. Like you're and listen, like, yes, the Eastern Conference is exciting. dude, I haven't thought about the Leafs since they skated off the ice 2 Saturdays ago. Like
Trade deadline, anybody?
Yeah, I haven't thought about them whatsoever. And I went back and looked at the standings today. It's like they're second in the division behind the Panthers. So yes, they're jumping right back into the like that aspect of it is interesting and exciting. But February is the time of year that it really is the dog days of the season. And to get everyone interested and invested, I'm so sad that this is over. Like I said, the fact that I've got to go back and watch Austin Matthews try and make it work with fucking Max Domi now. Like it's tough. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yanni
all right, buddy.
Hakanpää.
Having said that, the Maple Leafs are back in action as of Saturday. They will be at home on Hockey Night in Canada against the Carolina Hurricanes. Then 24 hours later, they're in Chicago to play the Blackhawks. And then Tuesday, they're back in Austin Matthews returns to the scene of the crime. He's back in TD Garden to play the Boston Bruins. So we will be back. I'm thinking we'll be back on Wednesday. Will be our next episode because we won't be doing our Sunday show because the Leafs play Sunday night. Monday is Ryan's 30th birthday. So happy birthday, Ryan. So we won't make Ryan do a podcast on his actual birthday. So, and also you and I also are always of the opinion that wait till after they play the Bruins.
Yeah.
If they're playing the Bruins, you got to wait for that. We don't want to do a pod after they play the fucking Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Oh, so we will be back on Wednesday. And just before we get out of here, final thoughts, man. An amazing tournament. I absolutely loved every second of it. I'm so sad it's over. There is nothing. The fact that we went 8 years without best on best hockey, you can watch the World Juniors. You can watch the World Championships of all the guys who are eliminated from the playoffs. You can watch the Olympics when the pros aren't invited. None of it touches the best on best format and the best players in the world playing each other. It doesn't. The hockey is just on an elevated level that nothing else can touch.
Yeah, and it was just a lot of fun to watch guys who you hear about all the time, but you don't get to see every night, and kind of have them be on your side. Like watching Cale Makar play hockey is a fucking treat to me.
And
what a player, man.
You're leaving this tournament a massive Devon Taves fan.
Yeah, huge. I Travis Sanheim too is another great player. I'd put him in a Leaf uniform 2 seconds. And then my last thought about the tournament is the Toronto Maple Leafs need to go spend an absolute bag and a half on Sam Bennett.
Yes, he's exactly what they're missing.
Yeah, go get that guy right now.
He's exactly what they're missing. And Brad just overpay. Listen, cap's going up. Overpay for him. Just do it. Sign him to one of those contracts that we know in 5 years is going to be an absolute disaster. But who cares? Who gives a shit? I mean, you're throwing around. We're not going to get into this now. We're going to rant about this for weeks. I'm seeing things on Twitter that you're offering John Tavares $7 million. Don't do that. Don't do that, Brad.
Yeah.
Give it to Sam Bennett.
Yes, exactly.
All right. We're going to get out of here. Like I said, we'll be back next Wednesday, back covering our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs. If you've checked us out for the first time during the Four Nations face-off and you're a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, hit the like and subscribe button. Come on the journey for the rest of the season with us. We got trade deadline coming up, and then we got the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs coming up, where we'll be back in post-game show mode.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the audio version, please do the same.
Spread the word. Tell your friends.
We really appreciate it. We will see you guys on Wednesday.